Hi, welcome to Me Now, Life with Injuries. This is my co-host Cheese, who is currently suffering from a small dose of conjunctivitis. My name is Aaron, I'll be your host for today, and it seems he's going to depart now, so that's okay. I'm not 100% sure how Cheese got conjunctivitis, but I would assume that is with sniffing rear ends of other dogs. They're not very conservative when it comes to putting their face in someone else's rear. And I would imagine that some dog just got flatulent and the poo-poo particles got right into his eye canal, or whatever you call it. It's unfortunate, but he won't die. We'll fix that up for him. Anyway, like I said, welcome to Life with Injury. I have a traumatic brain injury accompanied with post-concussion syndrome, and it's pretty challenging. And the topic of today's episode, I guess, is post-concussion syndrome. I've been battling with post-concussion syndrome for the better part of 3 years now, since my accident in 2018. Ended up with some moderate brain damage, spine damage as well. I get a lot of questions from other individuals who haven't yet had their life flipped upside down by a traumatic injury. And I always tell those people to be happy for their current health, and it's not an if situation, it's a when situation. So be nice to each other and be kind, and if you see somebody else out there who's struggling, be super nice to them, be cool. So anyway, thank you very much for joining me today, and I just want to take a quick minute to let you settle in and maybe process some of the things that have already happened in your life today, right up to this moment of watching this video, and maybe processing and discarding some of the negative aspects of what has transpired, and letting them go. For myself today, I'm pretty nauseous. My eyes hurt quite a bit. It's nice outside. It's a little bit cooler than it's been, so that's great for somebody with a head injury, because heat really rattles my cage, I guess. I don't know. I haven't said that ever, I don't think, but first time for everything. Probably said it 5 minutes ago and I totally forgot. Anyway, so isolate, if there's something that's already happened today. For myself, it was I have no energy, and I haven't been able to get outside for a walk yet, or any kind of socialization, and that really makes me irritable. I don't really deal with too many people on a day-to-day basis, because I can't work anymore, unfortunately. I tucker out real quickly, and I am prone to verbal outbursts once I start to feel pretty bad, and that's embarrassing. I don't want that to happen. So what I have to do is isolate that today is just one day out of many, and realize that this isn't my fault. And I'm working diligently, and have been working diligently, to return to a functional lifestyle. So what you have to do is say, hey, I acknowledge that this, and this is weighing me down today, and these are the reasons that I don't like that mindset, and this is where I think that mindset's going to get me, which is nowhere good. I've been a crybaby pity party baby for a couple of years now, so let me tell you from experience, laying in bed and hoping to die just doesn't get you where you want to go. So isolate that negative emotion, say, hey, I realize you're here, but I don't need you for the rest of the day. Adios, muchacho. So I wanted to touch a little bit on post-concussion syndrome, and a little bit about the nervous system and overall, and my experiences with this, and I hope that me being open with all of you about how life is for me a couple years out of my injury can shed some light and maybe help guide you through your hard time. So first of all, I would like to start off with this dialogue of the nervous system. Now, I don't have the budget to work on cool CGI videos or the patience or the allowable screen time. So let's just do things the old school way. Okay, so you will notice that up top you have your brain connected to your spine. Your spine runs directly from your brain all the way down to your tailbone, and you'll see all these little wire-looking things. That's your nerve endings, and there is a lot all up in the brain, in the face, throughout the body, into the hands, through the bones, down to the toes. So for myself, when I fell, I hit the entire right-hand side of my skull off of a cement door stopper, and it caused some issues. Right after I went unconscious for like a second, 2 seconds, and it was almost like being on the receiving end of a power surge. I don't know if you've ever left your TV in through a hectic lightning storm, but if your house or building, wherever you live, gets an influx of electrical pulse, your electronics no longer work so wonderful. And I feel like that's kind of what happened to me. I feel like the blunt force trauma to my brain kind of overwhelmed my internal circuitry and has made life pretty difficult since then. Post-concussion syndrome, in my experience, is just a never-ending escape from concussion symptoms such as vertigo, nausea, light sensitivity, sound sensitivity, external stimulus, extreme fatigue, chronic pain, extreme nerve pain, mood volatility. I don't have as much control over my emotional or mental well-being as I had prior. I have a very hard time isolating emotions, especially if there's a lot going on, if there's multiple people talking while trying to have dinner, or like knives and forks clanking together. All of those stimuli and sounds break through my tinnitus somehow and create havoc on my temporary well-being. And that's why I wanted to start the day off with isolating what's happened to you, acknowledging what's happening to you, and not saying that you don't have a reason to be upset with these things that are happening to you, because you do. You're allowed to be upset. You're allowed to vocalize your opinion. You don't have to force your opinions on other people. That's not right. But it is okay to self-advocate, and it's very important to self-advocate in these hard times. So those few things that I listed off as symptoms, they kind of come and go. They never 100% go away. So I'll get to kind of a level where it's bearable, and kind of work from there. I do have to stay within my limits, within my danger zone, and that's something we'll talk about another day. And that is difficult on its own to be able to self-advocate in foreign territory. So like if you're still able to work, it's very difficult to get through that. If you are still able to be social, or there's just a lot of things that this kind of takes away from you. I really doubt that a lot of people with post-concussion syndrome are overly social. It's a very isolating, freedom-revoking injury. Since my head injury, I suffer from extreme seizures. Some of them last a couple minutes, some of them last up to 20 to 30 minutes with intermittent consciousness and distorted breathing patterns, and etc., etc. So if you have recently been diagnosed with post-concussion syndrome, congratulations. You now have concussion symptoms and pain that is extremely not fun. So you are the unlucky winner of a very life-changing scenario. Luckily for you, this big dummy's already been through it. And I can tell you there's going to be a lot of bad days, and there's going to be a lot of not so terrible days. Will you have good days again? I hope so. I hope so. They might be few and far between, but I hope every day's great for you. I hope you wake up happy and you go to bed happy, and you spread that happiness to other people if you have it inside yourself to be happy all the time. So for myself with this injury, my eyes were extremely injured also. So for me, the floor kind of tilts and dips and curves consistently, or like the walls won't move right. It's almost like my brain isn't able to calculate depth and curvature or angles anymore. And the more tired I get, the more difficult it is. So for me, everything was almost like 3D. Like, have you ever gone to a 3D movie and taken those special glasses off and you see everything kind of like flop flop? That is how my eyes go. So I feel like I'm constantly looking off to the sides or blinking a lot to try to refocus my image. I did get a special pair of prism glasses, and I chose them extra large because they also tint over and protect my eyes from sunlight, which it isn't best friends with anymore. Sunlight is extreme agony for me. It can be symptom provoking. If I can't cool down my body, I will go into extreme symptoms and generally a seizure now. Seizures can take me out for as little as a week, as long as a month, to where my cognitive abilities are syrupy and caca-poo-poo. Yeah, they get real juvenile and suck. So my day-to-day ability of troubleshooting, problem solving, adult responses, all of those things that I used to be able to do pretty easily are now extremely complicated. I feel like my thought process is jelly. It's congealed. It's no longer like high-speed internet. It is stagnant poo-poo on the side of the road that's been hit by trucks multiple times. Nothing fun about that. Post-concussion syndrome flare-ups, it's agony. For myself, my nerves off and on throughout the day, my body just sends this pain signal for no reason. So it can be in my hands, it's always in my face and neck and down my shoulder into my hand. It travels into my feet, through my legs. It'll make me have like cramp-like feelings sometimes, well, a lot of the time, but my muscles aren't cramped. It's just my brain signals aren't correct. It's not sending the right signals to my body. And if my brain gets overwhelmed, not too good at all. It's a caca-poo-poo. Very not fun, very not fun. My doctor had described to me my brain as like a permanently sprained ankle, and to be successful, I have to I have to work within my limits of my sprained brain, which means I can't get overly stimulated, and if I do, I have a severe reaction, and I'll have a seizure. So a seizure is like a group of bullies just coming in, and a big bully sitting on your chest because it gets hard to breathe, and then everyone else just kicks and punches you, and that's the way your body feels, because it's you're jolting and twisting, and it's aggravating, and it hurts real bad. And then when you have enough breath to beg, please stop, one of the bullies kicks dirt and gravel in your mouth and in your eyes. So your ability to breathe gets even worse, and your vision gets worse, and then you can cry, and then just turns it all to mud and makes things worse. So it's I don't know, pretty terrible analogy, I guess, but it's rough. It's sucky. And I hope that you have found ways to overcome symptom escalations. For myself, I have to reduce my body temperature. I have to maintain hydration all the time. I have to eat pretty healthy. I can't allow myself to get off track with a pretty clean eating style. I find that eating overly processed foods or junk food has a very adverse effect on my overall energy. That might have been fine prior to my head injury, but now, like, I have to really live within a productive mindset, or else I'm going to be in bed. And sure, like many of you, I'm in bed a lot. I've spent weeks to months in bed. It is very terrible and very isolating, and good luck with it. What I do to get through a lot of my days in bed is I'll listen to podcasts to try to keep the mental juices going. So like Tim Dillon, or, geez, that's enough. When he squeals like that, it hurts my head. Tim Dillon, Joe Rogan, Lex Friedman, Louder with Crowder, something like that. So I like to listen to doctors speak as well. So like the Weinstein brothers, or Jordan Peterson. I'm not necessarily spreading their message. I'm not saying like, hey, this is what I think. Russell Brand is also really well spoken. What I'm aiming for is people who have a larger vocabulary, so I can continue to articulate myself as an adult. If I don't listen to those nightly, if I don't listen to someone speaking intelligently, I will lose the ability to do it very quick and end up just saying things like, dude, yeah, cool, shit, and a lot of profanities. And I'm working on it. I'm working on being less grumpy and more functional, but it's difficult. It's very difficult. But I hope that throughout these videos, that if any of you are going through a hard day, or just need a shoulder to lean on, feel free. Just not this one, because it's hurt. So post-concussion syndrome is like a everlasting concussion, and it's very difficult. Good luck to you is all I can really say. I think this is a good place to end, because I'm starting to get pretty foggy and I don't want to just ramble on here. So I would like to leave you with some words of encouragement, and maybe take some weight off you emotionally. This is not your fault. If you're having a rough day, if it's from your injury, if it's mental health attacking you a little bit, if there's more tragedy going on in your life, and financial stress is hard for all of us, because we can't work anymore, and then people will kind of treat you like a leper or a vagrant because you're not contributing. Those people just suck, and hopefully they roll their ankle while they're out for a jog, or like a bee goes in their mouth and stings their tongue. Nothing too bad, but those people, they're just not the best to be around. So I'm not hoping extreme pain on them, but a rolled ankle or a stubbed toe, or ingrown hair or something, that's not too bad. So I hope maybe they have to go through that if they suck at being a empathetic human being. So this is not your fault. Having a rough day is not your fault. Not being overly pleasant, it's peaks and valleys throughout these trying times. And whether it's your injury, or whether it's what else is going on in the world, just take some time out for yourself and surround yourself with things that make you feel better as a human being. And spread some love to somebody else who who needs it. I hope all of you have a successful day. I hope your day up to watching this video was okay and productive. Even if you only got one thing done off your list of 100 and you had to go back to bed, well, it's totally fine. It's totally fine. Even if you have a dog with pink eye who you had to feed some of the devil's lettuce, some of that Jamaican maple, some of that sticky icky, ooh-wee. I had to put a little bit in his bowl so he wasn't in pain. I'm for sedation. I think sedation is fantastic. I don't think that anybody should have to be in pain, and I don't think that there should be anyone who says you have to be in pain because they're not comfortable with sedation. It is not right for somebody else to tell someone who is in extreme pain that they don't feel comfortable with them taking the necessary sedatives to not be in agony. So I hope all of you have good doctors, good friends, good family that you can lean on in these hard times. And if not, feel free to message me or leave a comment if there's something else you'd like me to talk about. I don't know. I'm fading out. So once again, thanks for tuning in to Life After Injury. All we have is each other, and that's more than enough. So please help me on my journey to build this community of support and positivity, and let's build a network to where people that are going through something heavy in life, whether it's anything really, life is hard, and it shouldn't be a lonely journey. There's billions of human beings. Everyone's having a rough time now and then, and I think what we need back in the world is a little bit of compassion, and the willingness to listen, and not just wait for your turn to speak, or have your preconceived notions on how somebody else should be doing something, because our reality is individual. No two people's reality is the same. And it's just like a fingerprint on your finger, no two fingerprints are the same, I think. I hope. I mean, I don't know. I've never looked at all the fingerprints in the world. So I just said that because I saw it on TV once and I think it might be accurate. But right now I'm just, it's like my brain's misfiring and I'm running out of steam. So from myself and Poopy-Eyed Cheese, we're heading out. I'm going to try to get a walk in today. I'm going to try to make the best out of today. Even if that means in 40 minutes I'm back in bed and crying like a sissy. All right? Stay strong. Cheese and I wish you all the best. See you soon.